My name is Lisa. I'm an office worker living with just my mother and daughter. My father passed away in a traffic accident when I was still in elementary school. For that reason, even now as an adult, I still live at home with my mother. Today, I decided to tell my mother that my boyfriend, Asahi, has proposed to me. Mom, I'm going to marry Asahi.
Married. Oh, congratulations, Lisa.
Thank you, Mom. I'm glad you're happy.
Lisa, you've grown up, haven't you? I always felt like you were still a child. Before I knew it, you had really become an adult. I'm so happy.
My mother was very happy to hear about my engagement. Seeing her so happy made me feel very happy too. Another day. When I brought Asahi home to introduce him to my mother, the two of us arrived at my family home. Mom, this is Asahi, the guy I'm going to marry.
Nice to meet you, I'm Asahi.
Nice to meet you. I'm Lisa's mother. Thank you for coming all this way despite your busy schedule.
I've always wanted to meet you and greet you properly, so I'm glad I could.
We chatted and laughed together for a while. Seeing my mother so happy, I thought that maybe I had managed to repay her a little for all she's done. A week later, we were about to go to a restaurant for a meeting with both families when…
Oh, are you Lisa and her mother by any chance?
Are you Asahi's parents? Nice to meet you. I'm Lisa's mother.
So you are Asahi's fiancé. You're not quite what I had imagined.
Yes. We thought Asahi would choose someone more glamorous. And it seems like the mother might be leading a somewhat modest life too.
Excuse me? What did you just say?
Was there something you wanted to say?
Let's not talk about this here. Let's go inside the restaurant first.
While I was bewildered by the attitude of Asahi's parents, I followed them into a private room. We each took our seats and Asahi's parents began to talk.
Lisa, you graduated from a very prestigious university. That's impressive indeed.
Thank you.
Asahi certainly can't beat you when it comes to academic credentials, can he?
Give it a rest, Dad. But, your mother only finished middle school, right? Does that mean your intelligence comes from your father?
Well, I wonder about that.
In our generation, it was common sense to at least graduate from university, wasn't it?
Probably spent her time playing while everyone else was studying.
Actually, my mother raised me by herself. I deeply respect her for that. She is the hardest worker and the strongest person I know, so I don't think her education level matters.
What are you talking about? A parent without a degree is just a source of embarrassment for their children, right?
It's a miracle that Lisa turned out so well.
Exactly. So, you see, it's all due to Lisa's own efforts, not because of her mother's influence, right?
I was shocked by Asahi and his parents' insensitive and rude remarks. As we continued talking, the food was served, but… Where's the dish for my mother?
Oh? Is your mother eating too?
What do you mean by that?
The uneducated low class just get in the way. It's unthinkable for them to dine with us as equals.
What have you been saying all this time?
It's disappointing. Your academic credentials are impressive, but you were raised by a single mother after all.
Right. That's why you lack common sense.
Plus, the person who raised you didn't even finish high school.
My mother taught me many things, and about education.
Look, Lisa, having an education is expected. After all, she's just an uneducated old woman, right?
An uneducated old woman.
What's wrong with being from a single-parent family?
Don't you know? Children raised by single parents are more likely to become criminals.
That's a stereotype.
Oh? But that's the reality, isn't it?
My mother raised me with a lot of love, and as you can see, I'm a normal person.
Just as one would expect from someone educated. You sure have a way with words.
It's not about that.
Hey, Lisa. I'm saying I'm willing to marry someone from such a rough background. So, you should be really grateful to such a nice guy like me, right?
What are you talking about? If it's about who is better than who.
Obviously, we are superior, right? If you understand, then you should pay for the entire wedding.
Well, I suppose that's being filial.
Yes, but remember, we won't accept any complaints.
After hearing the hurtful words from Asahi and his parents, I took my mother and we went straight home. I couldn't forgive them for saying such things to my beloved mother. Overwhelmed by uncontrollable anger, I decided to initiate a certain plan. 1 month after the disastrous meeting with both families.
Hello, Lisa. What have you done?
You call me suddenly. What are you talking about?
My position at the company is in jeopardy now. You must have done something.
Oh, that? I just shared some findings with your company that I came across.
What findings? What have you been doing behind my back?
Why do you need to know that? Besides, you seem quite panicked. Are you okay?
Don't joke around. Come here right now. Immediately.
The mother-in-law kept ranting until she abruptly hung up the phone. Reluctantly thinking, oh well, I went to Asahi's house.
Lisa, you took your time getting here. Explain what this is all about.
There's nothing more to explain beyond what I said on the phone.
Why would you do something like that?
You were the one who started investigating my mother. So I thought, maybe I should do the same for you.
Heck, we just stated the facts. Even with education, you're quick-tempered, huh?
That's right. At the end of the day, you're from the lower class. That's why you get so easily upset.
You say lower class, but isn't your mother also a middle school dropout?
That's okay for me. After all, I married into an elite family and became part of the upper class.
Looks like the investigation was a waste. My wife is, as you see, from the top of the caste system.
Then, as the wife of a successful surgeon, am I not the same?
That's too bad. No matter if he was a doctor, he's no longer in this world, right? That's the reality.
My mother is the president of Sukato Corporation, you know?
What?
Are you still going to continue saying my mother is from the lower class?
We never asked about your background.
Yeah. I don't care what you found out. What exactly did you tell the company?
I informed them that someone was attempting to sell confidential information.
Heck, we don't remember doing anything like that.
It's strange that you don't remember something you planned, isn't it?
It's not strange because we didn't do it.
Here, these are the photographs that document all your misdeeds. There's no escaping it now.
Before the two who were feigning ignorance, someone appeared.
With all this evidence, do you think you can still deny it?
Hey, who are you?
This is Noah, my childhood friend who is a detective.
What you guys are doing is totally unacceptable.
Don't get cocky. You won't get away with this for free.
Exactly. I don't know which detective agency you're from, but snooping around like this is the worst.
I take snooping around as a compliment. It means we move without getting caught.
You must be one of those low-class friends. Hell.
What did you say about being low-class friends?
Eek.
Mr. President, why is the president here in our home?
Yeah. We didn't even know his contact details.
Yeah, I invited him.
What are you talking about? Do you know who this person is? He's the president of Kosuka Corporation.
There's no way such an important person would know any low-class people.
What are you talking about? Noah is the president's son.
What?
The president and I go way back. We sometimes go to the pub together.
What? You mean you, the detective, are the president's son? But you just said you were a detective.
So what's wrong if the president's son works as a detective?
Why didn't you say something so important?
Who introduces themselves by detailing their family background? Never mind about me. Explain to my dad yourselves what you were trying to do.
It's all a misunderstanding.
No matter how much you try to excuse yourselves, it's futile. You looked down on my precious son, and to top it all off, you tried to leak confidential information from his company.
Noah had called his father, who is the president of Kosuka Corporation. My mother had been acquainted with him since my father was alive, and they were almost like rivals. Unaware of this, Asahi and his parents had been freely disparaging Noah. When the three learned that the president had heard everything, they reacted.
Well, I mean, what I said to your son was just a little joke, you know?
Oh, so in your view, demeaning others is a joke.
That's a pretty foolish excuse to make.
Oh dear, I can't believe I'm being called stupid by a high school dropout, oh ho ho.
What you need in business are skills. No matter how high your education, if you can't perform at work, you're just incompetent.
Come now. Don't be angry over such a small matter, Mr. President. That's Betty. Besides, we haven't sold any confidential information yet.
What are you laughing about so carefree for? Just taking out confidential information is already a serious issue. Let me tell you, I'm also aware that you've been embezzling company funds.
That was found out too.
I told you we did an investigation, right? Noah is a really excellent detective.
He sometimes gets investigation requests from big companies too.
Why would you request an investigation from such a person? Now everything's being exposed.
We were managing just fine, and to think you even told the president.
If you're this panicked, you shouldn't have done things that would cause trouble if exposed.
I can't believe you came up with such dirty tricks, and even went through with them.
You really don't know anything, Lisa. Company information, you see, can sell for a lot.
Even so, normal people don't do such things. It seems the upper class lacks common sense.
What? Don't you dare insult me.
I'm not insulting you. I'm just stating the facts.
That's exactly what I mean by being insulted.
Enough noise. All of you. Explain everything about why you did this.
When Noah's father demanded an explanation, Asahi and his parents-in-law said,
Because we wanted money, you know. So it couldn't be helped.
"That's not a normal reason to do something like this."
Yo. If there's a money tree right in front of you, wouldn't anyone use it?
No, they wouldn't. If anything, people would stay away because they know it'd be dangerous to mess with it.
Ugh. A company that allows documents to be taken out so easily deserves to be leaked. Rather than blaming us, shouldn't the company's management be questioned first?
Your lack of morals is a much bigger problem. The company trusted you to manage its information, and look what you did.
Exactly. Anyone can see that you're in the wrong, so you better reflect on that.
Say whatever you want. It doesn't bother me what the bottom class says.
You keep saying bottom class, but isn't someone who freely insults others the real bottom class?
It seems you have raised a person who enjoys speaking ill of others.
Oh my, what an awful way to say it. Asahi just grew up to be honest and straightforward, that's all.
Right. He's the type to speak his mind bluntly and act without thinking first.
Doesn't that mean he acts recklessly without considering others' feelings or choosing his words carefully?
In other words, he's an insensitive fool with no judgment.
After Noah spoke plainly, Asahi and his parents-in-law responded,
You've been saying whatever you want since we've been listening quietly.
When did you guys ever keep quiet?
Don't be ridiculous. Just because you're the president's son doesn't mean you can get carried away.
Right. Outsiders should keep out of this.
You say that, but you're really just afraid of Noah pointing out the truth, aren't you?
Lisa, don't get cocky just because your mother is a president.
I'm not. I'm just talking about the misconduct we found.
That's exactly the problem.
You know, at the family meeting you said the lower class gets upset easily, but it seems you were actually talking about yourself.
What did you say?
Getting upset like that. Oh, could it be menopause? Huh? But you're over 60, so you must be past menopause.
Ha, look who's talking. You old hag.
My mother had me when she was young, so she's still in her 50s. She's younger than you.
50s or 60s, it's all the same. If anything, proud to be an old hag.
This is infuriating.
Lisa's mom is tough.
She's always been like that. Gets really foul-mouthed when she's angry.
That's rude, no matter how you look at it.
You're hardly in a position to talk about rudeness after all the rude things you've said.
Don't mess with us. Doing something like this.
All right, then, if you would please.
Who are you calling at a time like this?
The police, actually.
While they were talking, Noah had called the police. Learning this, Asahi and his parents-in-law said,
The police? Hey, Lisa. We're going to be family. Do something.
Why should Lisa have to fix anything for you guys?
No matter how much you fuss, you're going to have to deal with the police anyway.
Lisa, as someone who is going to be part of this family, try to avoid this situation.
Yes. If you can do that, then we might even allow you to marry Asahi.
That's impossible. Because my mother and I are just lower class, right?
Exactly. There's nothing us lower class can do, right?
What are you saying? Have some awareness that you are going to marry me?
Huh? Why would I ever marry someone like Asahi? I can't be with someone who can't cherish my mother. I'm calling off the engagement.
What? Calling off the engagement?
Don't think you can stay at the company after all the abusive language and what you've done.
Mr. President, please, we hadn't sold the information yet. Forgive us this time.
Please. It was just a moment of madness for my husband and Asahi.
You don't repeatedly embezzle just because of a moment of madness.
Lisa, please don't say things like calling off the engagement. Despite everything, I still care about you.
You can enjoy your unrequited love as much as you want now. Congratulations.
I apologize for insulting you too. Please, call off the police.
This is a good opportunity for you to be squeezed thoroughly and learn about the harshness of society.
Officer, over here. This house right here.
No, not the police. Please, anything but that.
Stop whining and properly atone for your sins. Thus, Asahi and his father-in-law were arrested for leaking information and embezzlement. Naturally, they were fired from their company, losing all their income. They destroyed their own future just as they were nearing retirement and the prospect of a pension. The mother-in-law, having been a housewife, tried to work to earn money, but it was futile. They were also sued by the company, and only hardship awaited them. Asahi and his parents-in-law, therefore, went from a stable life to one of financial and social ruin. Meanwhile, my mother and I.
So, in the end, it turned out that the culprit setting off the alarms at night was a stray cat.
And here everyone was making a fuss about ghosts.
Well, it's a relief it wasn't a burglar.
Really? It was a nuisance, but at least it was a cute intruder.
But man, they paid us 2 million yen for that stakeout investigation. Kind of scary, right?
Alright, then let's use that money to go eat luxury barbecue with the 4 of us.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Thank you for treating us, Noah.
Mom. Sorry about that, Noah.
No worries. Better to use it on food than have it sitting around. So, shall we go eat some delicious meat then? Ha ha ha.
Since then, the number of times I met up with my mother, Noah, and Noah's father had increased. We would have tea together or share meals and enjoy our time. Sometimes, my mother and Noah's father would reminisce about my father, and every time they did, Noah and I would just quietly listen. Maybe my father in heaven is also listening in. If that's the case, I want to share many happy stories with him. It looks like my duty to honor my parents will continue for a while, but I plan to keep looking after my mother in my own way. In my heart, I made that promise to my Father in heaven. If you enjoyed this video, we'd be thrilled if you subscribed to our channel. Subscribing means you'll receive notifications for new videos, keeping you in the loop with all our latest content. Your support is vital to our growth. Let's enjoy and grow together.